Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video, and this is probably a video that a lot of people have been wanting for a while, but in this video I am going to be going over how you can deal with VISCONDE VEGA even if you're free to play. Okay, so I'm going to be going over various different teams that can give you success fighting against VISCONDE VEGA, and two of them are free to play. One of them is completely free to play, the other one I would call free to play accessible, and there's a couple of options there for people who summon and get a bit more luck, or they went for the right units, or they spend money. But we'll start off by talking about free to play team who is pure free to play that can beat VISCONDE VEGA setups. So the first team we're going to take a look at is this one here, okay? Now the support I've got on my DPS for this team is not important. You could put Mayor Cody on there, but for this team to work, you need to go first, okay? This is a free to play team that you need to go first, so it's only going to work against Vega teams where you know that you can outspeed them, okay? So the setup that's being fought against here, this team, even without those EX skills, just with Beast Sang, would outspeed them anyway, okay? Just pure and simply, just Beast Sang would outspeed this team, okay? Now, this team, we'll show you just now how it is actually going to work, okay? There's actually two counters built in here. One, there is speed, okay? Secondly, well, there's actually three counters. The second counter is ranged attacks are being countered by using Honda with his bullet wall. And third, this team is set up to counter other Vega teams, okay? So they have got in defense against ranged attacks. So we're attacking with a melee attacker, okay? So I'll show you how this one plays out, and you can see yourself how it actually works, and I'll try to talk you through basically what the strategy is here, okay? Now, when the fight starts, you need you need to have built your Honda. Your Honda needs to have cars, okay? When you start the fight, you'll immediately get a bullet wall, okay? That bullet wall is going to protect you against VISCONDE VEGA, okay? Now, they have got protection against VISCONDE VEGA by having that orb on the field, but that doesn't affect me because my attacks are coming from from melee, okay? So I can bypass that, and I'm going to do my melee attacks to start taking out their DPS. Now at this point, their DPS is gone. I'm in the loop where we're getting our interrupts, we're getting our DPS from Viper, and ultimately, as this plays out, you'll see that we do go ahead and we win this match, okay? So free to play, as long as you can have speed, okay? And as long as you have yourself a Honda, you can counter those ranged attacks that are coming in from VISCONDE VEGA, and you can then go to work with your DPS taking care of the rest of their team. And that, as you'll see here, is enough to pick you up the win against the dreaded Vega team. Now obviously, that if they are running speed teams, it is definitely going to be a lot more difficult for you, okay? Now, if you're in a situation where you cannot outspeed the opponent, okay, you can still deal with that as well. And this is the team I'm calling the free-to-play accessible team, depending on when you've started to play, okay? This is your more free-to-play accessible team, okay? The things that we're getting here is we're getting 2 lots of protection against range attacks from Honda and also from Athlete Chun-Li. Okay, these 2 units are vital to this setup, okay? We've also got Regal Honda. He's very tanky, and his C2 is guaranteed interrupts as well. A lot of free-to-play players will have this guy. He doesn't necessarily need to be built because his function here is not really for his damage output. It's more to guarantee those interrupts to make sure we are going to continue to get attacks after we have blocked those range attacks. I've got at the back in the C3 slot, or the tag slot, sorry, I just decided for this one I would switch up and I would use Flameadon, another melee attacker, again, because I know they are countering the ranged attacks I am going to run melee attacks, because actually using a Vega myself as a DPS on this team would actually not be as functional, because they are going to be blocking ranged attacks. Now, chances are with this setup, I would probably be able to use a Visconde Vega, because I will clear off their ranged protection fast enough that I can do some damage. But for this setup, you really want to run, because you know you're going to go second, you want to run Honda and Athlete Chun-Li. The reason for this: immediately upon starting the battle, you'll get the bullet wall from your Honda, and via the passive of a built Athlete Chun-Li, you will also get more range protection from her Vortex, okay? So we'll see how this one plays out. It's very much like the last one. A lot of this is really based on countering the main threat, which is Vega, okay? Once Vega's taken care of, you pretty much know the rest of it's going to go down okay. So they've got a Vortex on the field, you can see, and their Vortex is there to protect them against ranged attacks. I've got a bullet wall, and I've also got a Vortex, so I'm getting protection from ranged attacks in two fronts right now. Once the bullet wall's gone, I'm still getting protection coming from that Vortex that Chun-Li's put out there, which allows me time. I've killed off Vega at this point because of Flame Adon and his Flame Wall, which is also bringing a lot of additional protection to the team as well. And then from here on out, we can go through. We have lost Athlete Chun-Li at this point. It doesn't really matter, because their main threat is gone, and we can go on and finish off the fight to pick up the W. So that's, again, a team that doesn't necessarily need to have loads of premium units or anything like that. I mean, we've had plenty of chances through Street Art and other places like that to pick up Athlete Chun-Li. Myself, other content creators, when they were still making content for this game, we did tell you guys to prioritise getting yourself a copy of Athlete Chun-Li. So hopefully a lot of you have actually listened to that and went ahead and got her, and she is someone you can utilise for a strategy like this, okay? Hey guys, this is Hayzink, cutting in here after I've finished recording the main portion of the video, just to say, watch this video to the end, because this team here, I actually go away and show you how it performs against what a lot of people consider to be the harder Vega team, which would be one that also has Gouken in it. So you can see how this team, which is a lot more free-to-play accessible, how this team functions against what more people would consider the meta setup for Gouken and Vega. So watch to the end and you'll see that. Now cut back to where we should be in the video. Peace. So now we can start talking about maybe if you've got a more premium DPS unit that you might want to use. Now I actually messed up this, to be honest, and when you see this recording, I meant to start this as actually being a combo of Oni, Athlete Chun, then Zangief, then Oni, but I forgot to change it. So you'll actually notice that Zangief attacks twice in this combo. That wasn't intentional. It would have made more sense to have Oni attacking twice, but the end result was still the same. So rather than wasting another ticket to record footage in HWA, I just went with this because it still shows you how it works, you know. So we'll let this one play out. Again, the clear time here would have been quicker if I had actually recorded it properly, which would have been Oni starting the combo instead of Beast Sang. But again, the strategy still works exactly the same. All we've essentially done here is take out Flame Adon and have Oni in here. Papa John's, I don't want a pizza. That's all we've done. Just basically to show you that you're not limited to one type of attacker, okay? And Oni, despite his attack kind of functioning like range, it's still melee, right? It's very strange. Even his, I don't know if you noticed it there, even his fireball, it still attacks, it still goes through the ball, that protection whirlwind ball thing that Flame Chun or Athlete Chun puts out there. It still penetrates that. I don't know why. I don't know if because the attack starts off as a melee attack, it continues to be a melee attack. I don't really know why that is the case, because I feel like that orb of hers should block that fireball, but you can see there that fireball just penetrates and it goes straight through it anyway. Maybe it's something to do with penetration. I don't know, right? I don't know. But you can see here, this one absolutely clears up as well. So, I've got one more to show you. This one is for your whales. For your actual whales, okay? Now, if you are a whale, a proper whale, right? You don't need this. You don't. You could just run Vega. Honestly, if you are a whale, you could run Vega, you could run Goken. I've tried to avoid using those units, right? But you could run Vega, you could run Goken, you could outspeed the other team, you'll win, right? But if you want to get a bit more inventive and hand people some losses from teams that they might be like, wait a minute, you beat me and you didn't even use the typical units, you didn't use Goken, you didn't use Vega, what the hell? I thought this unit was unbeatable. Then a team like this can do it for you as well. So you see here with this setup, what we're basically doing is we are still going to be using Athlete Chun-Li for her blocking of ranged attacks. We are making sure we go first, so we're having a high speed team, and when it comes down to survivability, we're using a combination of the ranged attack blocking and the damage sharing and healing from the new Ryu, okay? And our main DPS is coming from Akuma, right? So again, 100%, this is for someone who has got a lot of different units on their account. But you can see here yourself how this actually works, and it'll also give you guys a good indication of whether or not you would want to summon for a unit like the new Ryu, because things to watch out for on this team here is how much HP do I have? How much HP do I finish up with? How good is he making the survivability? Are we taking a hit from Vega? Are we surviving a hit from Vega? Stuff like that, you know? That kind of will give you an indication of, do I want this Ryu? Do I like this Ryu? Right? So, see here, we took a big hit from Vega there, survived. We get the healing coming back from Ryu. He then does a lot of damage because he's basically stored up that energy from being hit, and he is going to smack them back in the face. So there you go, big massive hit from Ryu, prevents anyone dying because of his skill the way it is, smacks back, big amount of damage. He's then going to come in, he's going to do his C2, which is a lot of damage. Then we've got Akuma smacking them, he takes care of Vega at this point. We're still rocking, not lost anyone on the team. Chun-Li's still putting in the work, blocking those range attacks. And I think at this point everyone is almost at full HP. Very tanky team because of Ryu. He's a very solid unit. I'm not sure yet where I'm going to use him, but I wanted to show an example of him basically being on a team and that team being able to take care of the meta character which is currently running in the game and everyone's kind of afraid of, which is Vega. Now, there's going to be situations that if you are a free-to-play player, you're probably going to struggle, right? If we go back and we look at that first team again, this team here, if you were facing a Goken Vega team, this might not do it for you, right? It might, but it might not, okay? Whereas if you're running the combination of something like this team, not this team, that was the wrong team, this team here, because you've got the kind of double protection, okay? Because you've got the double protection of your ranged attacks, then you could potentially use this team to get past a Goken team, okay? Now, my Honda isn't fighting spirit 30, he's only fighting spirit 20. When you've got him at fighting spirit 30, he actually gets a second bullet wall when he is in desperation mode, okay? I think it's when he's in desperation mode, or is that maybe that's his cars that give him that? I don't know, it might be his cars, it's one of the two of them, right? But you do want to have this guy built, okay? When you've got this guy built, he's going to do more for you, essentially. But if you're using a different DPS here on this team, then maybe it could get past a Goken Visconde Vega team, right? But it might struggle. I don't want to make the de facto call if it will or it won't. I don't have the means to test that out. So all I can say is when it comes to outspeeding the opposition, then you can certainly use this setup to outspeed and beat a VISCONDE VEGA team. Okay, so I've had to go through a round 1 to get a VISCONDE VEGA team that's got a Goken on it, so we'll see just now. Right, now I'm already down because I've had to go through a round 1, but I want to see if the team will do enough quick enough to basically take out a Goken team, right? So we're going to try it just now. We're going to see. I've never had a chance to use this before in this kind of setup. I think we might have just got blocked from popping our Athlete Chun, her blocking of the ranged attacks, so maybe we'll be struggling here. I don't know, because we did get interrupted, which is kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons for getting this done. But again, I've had to go into this a bit blind, so we'll see how it stacks up. But I mean, it's doing admirably right now. I'll say that, it's doing admirably right now. We'll have kind of, have we taken care of VISCONDE VEGA yet? We've got the interrupt in, we've got away our flame wall. Even, there you go, there you go. That is with the Goken on the setup as well, okay? I'm sorry to you, JK, he's one of my guild mates. Shout out to JK. I don't really want to show anyone's names of who I'm fighting, but I just wanted to kind of see if, you know, using the exact same strategy, but they've got Goken on there, if we could get the kind of damage numbers needed to whittle the team down to finish things off. And you can obviously see yourself that yes, we could, so hallelujah, hallelujah, things actually worked out the way that I thought it would. So you can see yourself there. That, however, would require speed, right? So that team, to beat a Goken team, you're going to need speed. In fact, no we're not, I didn't go first. So we done it without actually going first. So you can see yourself that running those 2 units, running your Honda, running your other Honda for the interrupts, and running that Athlete Chun is going to give you the protection that you need to be able to take out Vega. It's going to give you that survivability. It's going to give you that chance. And while, yes, okay, Athlete Chun, she's a divination unit. She's been in the game long enough that I feel like a lot of you will have her, okay? Honda, yes, my Honda might well be SSS2, right? But Honda can actually function very well below that, okay? So again, these are units that we've been telling you for quite some time within Discords on here to prioritise, to work on. And these units can give you success against this character. He is a crazy character though. He is a crazy character. And doing it in something like Showdown is a completely different kettle of fish, because you don't know where he's going to be. You don't know what setup he's going to be in. But for something like HWA or even just standard PvP, if you know what you're facing, you can counter it. And this is how you counter it. It's going to be interesting to see after this if I now start taking losses on my VISCONDE VEGA team. But this is information I wanted to put out there to the community to help people out, because, hey, ultimately, this is something that could definitely be serving you well in the long run. Anyway, guys, I have been Hayzink. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.